Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Glenn here. Happy Monday afternoon. Let's talk. All right, some days I don't feel like getting up on the microphone, on the camera, and making these every week and stuff. Some days I'm just not feeling as energetic about it or what have you. But I'm always, at the end of the day, I'm always glad when I did. I mean, it's just a good thing to have a routine for me to stick to have something that I get to look forward to every week. And even if there aren't a lot of people who watch it, like I think I get maybe 15, 20 views on these sometimes, and that's even when I advertise it on Twitter. It's still just a good thing for me, and I'm sure I'll be happy to look back on these from time from now. So, yeah, so last week, one of the busiest weeks that I've ever had in my voiceover career. So, I might have mentioned in one of my previous videos that I had a pair of books that I was doing. They were together as a bundle. Two books about Stoicism, which was interesting, learning about some ancient Greek philosophy and, how to live your life and how we can apply lessons from Socrates and Marcus Aurelius and folks like that to what's going on today. So I had about 5 days in a row where I was working maybe 10 plus hours trying to get those done. Because, okay, so I actually, after I'd gotten the two books, I'd gotten a third book from another client, a repeat client that I had been working with. So then that was another thing that I got thrown into the mix. And so I was just really burning the candle on both ends trying to get those both done by the due date. So I was working like 10 plus hour days for like 5-6 days in a row to finish those books. And it was done, and it was crazy, and it was the hardest I'd ever worked so far in this business. But then I finished up the last book on Wednesday, and then Thursday I just crashed, like physically, emotionally. I just felt drained after doing that, and I also had a little bit of like some personal stuff going on that was starting to get me down, a little moody. So for the next couple of days, I was just a different person than I was earlier on that week, and it was kind of crazy. And so, I mean, you could say that maybe it was just an acute thing of what the personal stuff that had been going on and whatnot, but I mean, it really made me have to take a step back and think about how, I believe, I'm the kind of guy, I can do whatever I set my mind to. And, with the proper goals and planning, you can always overcome. But at the same time, human bodies, they have limits of sorts. I mean, you can expand those limits. You can exceed those limits at times. But, I mean, there's still laws that your body operates by. And for me, it was like, if I work really hard a couple days, I have to expect that I'm going to be pretty burnt out the following days. Like, I can wake up, and if I need to get stuff done, I can work, a 16-hour day, just, spending all my time in the studio or editing audio. But if I do that, then the following days, I'm going to be just, good for nothing the next 2-3 days at least. So learning that about myself, and a reminder, because I think I've kind of been like this my entire life, just remembering that you really got to, if I'm going to be able to do this consistently, I got to really be more conscious and try and pace stuff out. So the same author who gave me those books gave me two other books yesterday, which I'm starting on today. Got to get the first 15 minutes done. I'll probably be the first thing I do after I get this uploaded. And definitely going to be a lot more conscious, from the lessons that I previously just recently learned to pace myself a little bit more, piece it out more evenly through the days up ahead. So, yeah, everything you do, every job you do, you got to learn, what your body can take on, how you like to work, how best to find your own rhythm in relation to how you operate. How much sleep do you need? How do you work if your diet is less than optimal? How do you function if you have to work extra long days and stuff? So, I mean, that's just a part of life journey, is getting to learn about, how do you tend to respond to different things and giving yourself the love that your body needs. So yeah, great life lesson. Another thing I thought about this last week. So yesterday, I finally spent some time. I just sat down with a notepad, just taking some notes, taking a step back from the day-to-day grind of work. I wasn't a really busy day, so I had some time to just take a deep breath, think, and sort of reevaluate. Like, okay, where do I see this thing going right now? How is my workflow going? What kind of goals, short-term, long-term, am I going on again? It's always good to go back and kind of refocus things, and sometimes things change and tweak based on what kind of work you've been doing and what kind of opportunities present themselves. And I realized that I've been pushing the social media stuff fairly hard, particularly on Twitter. I mean, I do this, but I haven't been doing a lot with YouTube outside of recording a video every week and sharing it on like my Facebook and my Twitter accounts and stuff. But there's certainly a part of me that likes the idea of having a Twitter account that's popular, having videos that people want to watch, or posting stuff that people like to tune into. Like, there's something cool about that. And I think people like to be heard. People like to have their people like to be paid attention to. But as I was taking a step back, looking at my short-term goals and whatnot, I just realized I probably has been spending too much of my time and energy trying to, get popular on Twitter and, follow the trends and whatnot. So, and really, my focus should be primarily, first and foremost, on making money, on, actually having the income to make this actually a career, to make this a sustainable, affordable way to live life. And while I'm certainly, picking up jobs and things are getting better, I really need to make sure that I'm keeping my focus on that before I start, thinking too lofty up in the clouds about all the things I'd like to be, that I probably wouldn't be able to be feasibly for, years down the road. So, yeah, just really having to be honest with myself and look like, okay, hey Glenn, things are going well, but you still got to focus on, just getting your jobs, getting your clients, getting your casting calls done, and doing that before you start branching out into other stuff. So, I mean, certainly I would love to do more stuff like on this YouTube channel, like more so than just the weekly vlog and stuff. I mean, it'd be fun to like maybe get into some Twitch streaming, maybe do some podcasts. Some other voice actors I see out there on YouTube, like Black Griffin and stuff. They'll do like singing videos, or they're like, kind of character mimic compilations and stuff. Like that'd be a fun thing to get into. But right now, I just don't have the time and energy to put into that when I'm still just trying to build this thing and get it going. I mean, maybe, once I've built a little bit more of a platform, maybe once I've gotten some sustainable income, that I have the peace of mind to be able to focus on more different creative endeavors like that, maybe. But, you gotta, there's a military expression I heard, like they say, focus on the 50-meter target. So, just focus on what's directly ahead of you. Don't focus on, like something a mile down the road. Focus on what you're dealing with right now, the most proximate concern, the most proximate focus. And once again, kind of like when I'm talking about, limits and giving your body the appropriate rest and love that it needs, you also got to keep focus on what is really important right now. I mean, try not to daydream too much, stay focused on what's right ahead of you. So yeah, good life lessons and stuff. One last tip. There was one thing for you other guys who are looking to get into voiceover out there. There's one more other tip that I wanted to pass on. I had tweeted about this a couple days ago, and that is basically for all the voiceover work you do out there, keep meticulous records of everything that you do. Keep record of all the jobs, all the different characters that you've done, the number of clients you've worked with, where those clients lived, because that's going to pay huge dividends down the road once you start making a name for yourself, and once you start having profiles on some of these websites, like different freelance websites, or maybe voices.com, voice123, or even your own personal website, or whatever you use as a CV to advertise yourself and display your demos and whatnot. I mean, being able to say, I've completed X number of projects, or I have X number of clients, or even, I've worked for clients for, in X number of countries or X number of continents. Like, that's a cool thing to be able to talk about, and that gives you a little bit more credibility. Like, these books that I'm working on right now, the Stoicism books that I finished up, the author's from Italy. So, I got a European client that I'm working with, and that's kind of cool that I'm, working with people from not just, in my local area, not just in the U.S., but people from around the world. And I've got a couple other clients who kind of in situations like that. So, yeah, keep track of that stuff. Being able to say that you've completed X number of jobs, or, you've done X number of characters, or you've maintained X number of clients. Being able to say that in your bio, I mean, that's going to pay huge dividends if you grind out the work now and start racking up some of those numbers. So, yeah, get the work done and you will eventually reap the rewards. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Once again, like I said, got 2 new books to start on today, and then got the next script for the next installment of Sim Settlement's Conqueror coming up. So that's going to be really exciting. It's set to release, I think, about a month from now, but I'm planning to get my lines done in the next week. So always very exciting to see what that's coming on. So definitely want to be paying attention to that. All right, folks, take care. God bless.